Good evening YouTube, Mighty Grimlock here. I am back again, this time not with a review, but instead I am doing my first ever video response, which is directed at Rattrap25, who recently put out a lovely little sort of questionnaire. Oh, I love questionnaires, me. And we're just listing things that you like. Oh, that's good fun. So I thought I'd reply. Yeah, so it was all based around nostalgia. So without further ado, let us get on. Question 1. What makes you a proud nerd? Well, basically, I have been a nerd since I was born. Can't really say anything else. I used to be into nerdy stuff when I was a kid, and I'm still into nerdy stuff now. I was a Spectrum enthusiast as a young child. Used to spend many a Saturday playing, stuck up in my room playing on my Specky, and sort of progressed, into video games, comics, what else? Everything you can think of that's potentially nerdy, I'm generally into, except the Games Workshop stuff. I don't even begin to understand Games Workshop stuff, and to be honest, I'm not bothered. So yeah, anime, I kind of watch a little bit of it, but again, on the whole, not that arsed. But yeah, I am a geek, and I have been a geek for a very long time. Yeah, I think it makes you a bit more of a geek stroke nerd when you start doing reviews of toys. Like this one, which I actually haven't reviewed yet, but I am going to at some point. And what else can I say? My proudest geek moment, probably so far, was the video I put up a while ago, which was of my son Jacob doing his first Transformer. Well, it was a Power Ranger review. His first YouTube review. Made me a proud daddy. Yes, it did. It did indeed. See him all grown up like that. Question 2. Top 5 nostalgic TV shows. Well, this question goes without saying. Transformers would probably be number 1. I'm taking nostalgic TV shows as TV shows from the past, and for me the past probably, well, I was born in 1980, so 80s and 90s. My childhood basically. That's what I'm using as my yardstick anyway. So yeah, Transformers obviously. G1 would be the main one. After that, I do have a list here because I can't really remember what I'm talking about. So just down here, I have a list. If I keep looking down, it's because I'm doing that. After that, A-Team. Everybody loves the A-Team, and I remember watching that every Saturday afternoon when I was having my tea. You could actually chop and change or substitute the A-Team with Dukes of Hazzard, Street Hawk, Airwolf, Knight Rider. Anything of that ilk, but I think the A-Team for me was probably the most influential when I was a kid, because I absolutely used to love that so much. Number 3, Thundercats, the original series of Thundercats. Anyone remember the original first episode where Chitara had no clothes on? Yep. As a child, that had a profound effect on me, surprisingly. For Action Force, I can't beat Action Force. They used a lot of they used the same music as G1 Transformers for a start, and obviously Cobra Commander was Starscream, mental. But yeah, I used to love Action Force, and probably still do to this day, although it's never really received quite the love that the Transformers did. Although I did enjoy the live action film more than probably the Transformers one, which is weird because they were both rubbish. But anyway, there you go. My last one, it's a bit of a toss-up. I can't really decide between Visionaries on one side, who I absolutely adored, and just the idea of this, like, electricity and technology had disappeared, and the age of magic had re-begun. And they all had holograms that could transform, and I remember my favourite one was I had the toy of him. He was a little kid. He was Arzon, and he could transform into a hawk and fly around, and yeah, it was quality. On that, so I've got Visionaries and Jason the Wheeled Warriors. I can't decide, but joint fifth, I would say. There are a couple of honourable mentions. which I would like to mention, which didn't make it into my top 5, but I still watch to this day and I love. Silverhawks, Galaxy Rangers, Twin Peaks. Probably the best TV show it's ever been on, even though I've just not listed it in my top 5. Xena, the original He-Man series, Centurions, and what's my last one? Oh, I couldn't read that there. Brave Star. Who else remembers Brave Star? Strength of the Bear! Used to run around doing that all the time as a kid, and I loved it. Yeah, it was quality. Question 3. Top 5 nostalgic toy lines. I had a bit of trouble with this one. Not a huge amount of trouble. Number 1, take it as red, Transformers. Number 2, Mask. Oh, I just love Mask. Mask was awesome. I remember on Christmas I got Boulder Hill, and that was just like the best Christmas present I think I'd ever had up at that point. I remember spending weeks and weeks and weeks playing with it and trying to get the boulder to run down the hill instead of just popping off backwards. But yeah, you know, Rattrap Spectrum, it takes me right back to my youth. I had the toy of oh Christ, I can't remember what his car's called now, but Rattrap's car, and I swapped it for a Motormaster. But yeah, anyway, Action Force figures. Used to have tons of them. Me and my dad used to take us swimming on a Saturday, and we'd come out, get some chips, and I'd go and buy the latest Action Force figure. My favourite Action Force figure, without a doubt, it would be Snake Eyes, and then Storm Shadow. I also used to like Quick Kick, I think his name was. He looked a bit like Jackie Chan crossed with Rambo, if I remember rightly. But yeah, he was awesome. He-Man. God, I had so many He-Man figures. Why did I grow up and get rid of all my toys? I don't know. It's very annoying. Yeah, He-Man. Wow, what a, you know, the toy line on that was just outstanding. Even though it was intrinsically the same figure with a different head all the time in different colours. You know, Hasbro probably took a fair bit from Mattel there in recent years. Anyway, and probably my last one as a toy line would be the real Ghostbusters, because again, as a slightly older kid, well, when was that? Was it 1990, 1992, something like that? I can't remember now. Someone might correct me, hopefully. I had a lot of those toys. I even had the firehouse. It was huge. It was a giant firehouse. I had all the Ecto vehicles, and you know, the Ghostbusters themselves, and things like that. I never got Slimer. I always wanted Slimer. But yeah, as toy line, it was a fantastic toy line. Question 4. If you could meet any voice actor, who would it be and why? Voice actors? Whoa, well, I mean, as a Transformers fan, number 1 would obviously be Peter Cullen. I think there's probably a few people who'll end up saying that. The guy is a legend. You know, what more can you say about that? Excuse me, I'm moving around a bit. Hands in me pants. Nathan Fillion from Firefly, probably one of my favourite sort of TV shows. I think I do like Nathan Fillion, and he is a voiceover artist. He's been in the Green Lantern. Not that I've watched it, like, but you know, he was picking hairs. And he's done quite a bit in Halo. He was in Halo ODST, you know, a long time ago. So yeah, Nathan Fillion. Do like Nathan Fillion. He makes me laugh, and he's good. But I've actually just thought the number 1 voice actor that I would like to meet, and one day, you never know, it might happen, for me would be Patrick Warburton. Now, if you don't know who Patrick Warburton is, you'll have heard his voice, because I'm pretty sure that every single person in the world watches Family Guy, or has at some point. Patrick Warburton plays, what's his name? Joe, I think he's called, the policeman in the wheelchair. That's not why I like him though. The main reason I like Patrick Warburton is because he plays one of my all-time favourite cartoon characters, and probably just characters in general that's ever been created, and that is someone called Brock Sampson, who is from a TV show which was on Adult Swim called The Venture Brothers. And if you haven't watched The Venture Brothers, seriously, go and watch it now. It is probably, after Transformers, it is the best cartoon that has ever been. I can't watch an episode without just like tears rolling down my face from crying so much. It's Brock Samson is just this monolithic, awesome special forces bodyguard, and he looks after these two kids, and it's just awesome. I can't even describe it. It's just something you have to watch, basically. Question 5. If you could have any costume from a TV show or movie, what would it be? One of them transforming jobbies that you see on cosplay videos, you know, where they've got like cardboard boxes all over and they sit down and all of a sudden they're Optimus Prime in vehicle mode. I'd have that. Batman. Question 6. What are your top 5 movie franchises? Right. By franchises, I take it that Rattrap means films of which there are more than one, which I think is what he explained anyway. So it's not obviously my top 5 films. That's probably for another day. Films of which there are more than one: Back to the Future, Alien. Yes, I even like Alien Resurrection, although the Alien versus Predator films can go and jump off a cliff as far as I'm concerned, because they're awful. Tremors. I love Tremors. Tremors is... I know they're kind of like crappy B movies, but they're just so much fun, and Burt Gummer is one of the best characters who's ever been on film. Michael Gross is just... Oh, he nails it. He's class. Obviously, the original Star Wars trilogy. No, not the new ones, because the less said about them, the better. But probably my favourite movie franchise, if I had to say as a franchise, would be Infernal Affairs, which is like oh Christ, I think it's Korean. I always get confused. It's got Andy Lau in it, who was in House of Flying Daggers, and he's been in loads of stuff, and he's a very, very good actor. But the first Infernal Affairs was the one that Martin Scorsese took and redid as The Departed, which he completely balls it up, basically. If you ever get a chance, go and watch the original first Infernal Affairs, because it's just a sublime piece of film, and the 2 sequels are quite good as well. One of them's like a prequel, and then the other one's like a follow-on, and they're both very good. But the original one is just one of the best films ever. It's just, I'm not going to describe it in case anybody wants to watch it, but it's superb. Just a few honourable mentions in the movie franchises. Planet of the Apes franchise. I love Planet of the Apes, especially the first one, and probably a few of the other ones. Not that I can think of the names of them off the top of my head, there's that many of them. Although the last one was really, really good. I did really enjoy that. The Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Wasn't expecting it to be quite as good as it was, so that was cool. Indiana Jones. It was a great trilogy, and then it just spoiled it all with the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. That was terrible. Terrible film. Oh, Indiana Fridge. Bad crack. Lord of the Rings, obviously goes without saying. I am a nerd, therefore I like Tolkien. So yeah, great set of films. The problem I have with the films is that I kind of watch them so much now that they're more rooted in my mind than the book was, and I know that there's lots more interesting things in the book. And I can't remember them all, so I'm going to have to try and reread the books at some point. I just can't be bothered. The Karate Kid films, they're just classics. You can just put them on at any time you feel like, and they're just awesome. Yeah, I even like the next Karate Kid with Hilary Swank. That's how much I like the Karate Kid. Couple of dishonourable mentions, and I say this because they start off brilliantly, and then they just get poor as the film franchises progress. RoboCop, the first RoboCop film, the Paul Verhoeven film, is awesome. It is just, I love it so much. And then RoboCop 2 was and then RoboCop 3 with the flying samurais or whatever. I think I watched it once when I was a kid, and that was it. Also, RoboCop was the first ever 18 movie I watched when I was about 14, I think. I might be younger, I can't remember now. Yeah, so it holds a special place in my heart. But yeah, as a franchise, it's poor. And then the other one I could think of was The Thing. It's kind of a franchise. It's getting sold in in a 2-pack nowadays, with the original and the remake, or the prequel, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, the original thing, even though I know that itself is a remake, but John Carpenter's The Thing is without a shadow of doubt my favourite film of all time. And they've turned it into a franchise, which is why I'm mentioning it now. But I've not even bothered watching the new one. One of my mates watched it and he told me it was terrible, so I've just left. It's wide berth, steer clear. Question 7: what is your favourite media? Yeah, I got a little bit confused with this question. The phrasing threw me off a little bit. I've taken it as what Monkey's NTV took it as, which I've just watched his video, which is why I've phrased the question that way. So for me, I'm going to use Transformers as an example, because obviously it's probably after music, it's like the main thing that I'm into. So in terms of a media, my media intake, it's got to be the cartoons. I'm a child of the cartoons. I was brought up on them. I did used to get the comic as a kid as well, but for me, it's always been about the cartoons. Rumble is blue! Yes, he is. It's the same with a lot of the other ones. You know, I love Marvel. I'm not a mega fan. I don't know everything there is about it, but most of the stuff I do know, I've learnt through the cartoons and not through the comic books, which I've never really bothered with. With Transformers, I try to take a bit of everything in. I am reading a lot of the comic books, although I find it really hard to sort of keep up with them. I just can't keep track of what there is, to be fair. There's stuff coming out all the time, and at least with this series, I've got them all in my little DVD box sets, and I know what's there, and I can watch them in order, and that's, for me, that's the best way of doing it. Question 8: what is your dream convention? BotCon? Comic-Con? I don't know. One of them two, probably. You know, ones that I'm never ever going to be able to afford to go to. You know, I'm selling off my old retro games collection beside me here to fund this year's AA. So yeah, I'm never going to get to go to one of them. But BotCon or Comic-Con. Question 9: what is your earliest memory of collecting? Earliest memory for me would be when I was sent to my grand's house one Saturday afternoon because my parents were off to the garden centre, and they came home and they'd brought me a present back, which was a tiny little Generation 1 sea spray. That was like the first one I ever got. I did quite a bit of collecting as a child, but that was more just for just to increase the amount of Transformers I had to play with, basically. For some reason, and I actually can't remember doing it, but at some point I got rid of them all. I know. To be honest, I've not really been collecting for very long. My son has got quite a lot of Transformers. You can see these boxes behind me. They're all completely full of his Transformers, and we kind of share them a little bit. I don't know. The first one I've actually got properly for myself was actually just this Christmas gone, and that was Grimlock, Fall of Cybertron Grimlock. So I'm a bit of a newbie to this collection lark. But yeah, my original memory all the way back when was Generation 1 Sea Spray. It was the first Transformer I ever got, and you know, I've loved them since then. I need to get them back again, I think. Question 10: what are your top 5 favourite cartoon reboots? I don't know. I watch. Well, no, I haven't got 5. I watch a lot of cartoons now, but a lot of them are probably with my kids, and you know, so we watch like Adventure Time, which is, I love Adventure Time. Jake the dog is just awesome. Also, he's played by Marcus Phoenix and Bender. Doesn't get better than that. My favourite reboots probably be the 2002 or whenever it was He-Man reboot, which was absolutely great and really should have done better than it did. The Masters of the Universe, awesome. I've just got my little laddie onto watching that now, and he's quite enjoying it. The latest Thundercats, which just absolutely pissed all over Transformers Prime from a great height. It was fantastic, that. And the only other one I could think of, Monkey Zen mentioned it, is every series of Transformers is a reboot, more or less. For me, the biggest and probably the best reboot of Transformers was Transformers Animated. That's one of my favourite sort of universes of Transformers. I absolutely love the animated stories, and I thought the cartoon was really, really well handled. It was a lot like, well, it reminded me of the Tick. I don't know why. I think it was probably Sentinel Prime. He had the look of the Tick, and he was an idiot, you know. And I think that was the first time I've seen a Sentinel Prime. Obviously, I think he's been in the comics, but I just loved it. I loved the idea of the Cybertron Elite Guard, and you know, how Optimus wasn't really a soldier, and all that, and it was cool. I did love Transformers Animated. I think that's been the best reboot of the show since G1. I'm not a massive Beast Wars person, so although I've watched a lot of them, it's never like properly grabbed a hold of us as much as Animated did. I really enjoyed that. So that's been my video response to Rattrap and his Nostalgia Mania. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I shall see you again soon for another review. See ya!